Good YouTube, Quinn Wade coming to y'all with basketball analysis on analysisplayground.com and on YouTube. We're going to talk about the Orlando Magic and what to expect from them in this up and coming season. Obviously, they finished number one in the Southeast standings, 47 and 35, the best team in the conference, one of the best defensive teams in the entire NBA, and they still working on how to improve this up and coming season and possibly win 50 plus games and possibly have one of their best seasons in franchise history around the guy that they drafted number one, Paulo Bencaro. He was drafted as a bucket getter from college in Duke, and he has lived up to the hype, averaging 22 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists on high volume scoring, which is 45% from the field, 33% from three, and 70% from the free throw line. Obviously, you can see some places where he can improve and grow, including defensively. So it shows you that this team still has some upside, and they had a competitive first round series where they ended up falling short. But it shows you that this team is confident in themselves. They feel like they have enough. It's just about wrinkling out all those, you know, ironing out all those wrinkles. And I think that that's what they're trying to do the next 2 to 3 seasons of let's see who we have, let's see who fits, let's see who doesn't, let's see who we can really rock with and who's really going to keep this team ultra competitive. Let's see who wants to be here, let's see who wants to compete. I think that these are important seasons of building who the Orlando Magic is going to be this decade, and they have already shown that they are one of the best teams in the NBA, and it's not hard to see that. Cole Anthony, obviously, he's a scorer. He's only 24 years old. They like what they got out of him so far, a double digit guy that can hit shots, make plays, and stays out the way for the most part, depending on what lineup he's playing with. And I think that he can continue to be a spark plug off the bench for them, and I think that he's important to what this team does. Anthony Black, he's a guy that they just got. He's a guy with high upside on both ends of the court, long, lanky, fast, quick, athletic. And I think that if he can develop some type of shot, he can be a solid rotation player for them in the future. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, wherever he goes, he helps contribute to winning. He knows how to stay out the way offensively and camouflage within that offense. He's a solid defender. He's a guy that can make shots at the 3 point line. He can make shots in the mid range. He can get to the basket. He can get to the free throw line. Even though he is older, he's still in the prime of his career. So I can see him having a couple of great seasons still, especially with the talent that they have amassed in Orlando. He doesn't really have to do much. Hopefully, he can stay healthy and help this team have more scoring from the perimeter, like they have shown that they have needed in some of these, teams that they had the last 2 years. Wendell Carter, he's a big body. He's not a 7 footer though, but this is a guy that can be a great screen setter for them, a guy that can knock down a midi, a guy that can finish in the paint, and a guy that can be a solid post defender. I like what he has brought to the table so far as a center for this team, and they built a lot of confidence with him, and they are intrigued about how he can continue to fit in with this team because he has done it so easily. Tristan Da Silva, I don't think he's going to get a lot of playing time and a lot of opportunity this up and coming season, but I can see it in the future. He's just very raw and still trying to understand the game and still trying to find out what his role is going to primarily be on this specific type of roster. But it's a lot of players that's going to feel the same way this season because you're only going to really be playing your top eight. And then the other guys are just injury fill-in guys that can come in and do a little damage for the roster until the guy gets back healthy. Gary Harris, I can see him being one of those guys too. He's getting older, but he still knows his game. He still knows his role. He's going to be kind of like Caldwell Pope. He's just going to be underneath Caldwell Pope, but he's just an injury guy that if somebody goes down, he can come in, give 3 point shooting, give mid ranges, and transition style play. Can fit right within plug and play type of guy if injuries occur. Caleb Houston, I don't see him or Jet Howard playing a crazy amount of minutes. I like what I've seen out of Jet Howard, on a college level. I just don't know what all he can bring to the table that another guy on his roster can already do. So he's going to be stuck on the bench, not getting a crazy amount of minutes either. Same with Caleb Houston. Jonathan Isaac is finally back healthy, a long, athletic, fast, quick body. People forget that he's only 26 still, so he still has huge upside. And the more he plays, the more he practices, the better he can get and the more potential he can have. He's one of the best defensive players in this roster, and I feel like he can continue to improve on his offensive game and stay healthy. He can still be a secret weapon for the Orlando Magic in the future. So I still like what he can become and what he can do. That's why they gave him them extensions, even though he was injured, because he has so much potential that he has yet to even tap in. And it will be cool to see if he can do it with the Orlando Magic, because they're an organization and a team that believed in him and still do. So it'd be interesting to see how that goes. Corey Joseph is a guy that can really handle the ball. He's small, he's tiny, but he also knows how to run the offense. He also knows how, to play off the ball and make shots. And I think that that's why they brought him in, and he still can do that. So I can see him being a solid addition to this team, still to this day. And then you look at some of these other guys signing some contracts that allow them to be on a roster for training camp. It can make them better. It can make them hungrier. And I think that guys like Mac McClung, Trevelyan Queen, Jalen Slauson, Javante Smart, and those guys, even Ethan Thompson, they're going to be competitive. They're going to be scratching and clawing for opportunity to make an NBA roster. But to be honest, this team don't need more guards. They really don't need more forwards because they have an abundance of them. And I think that these guys will just sit on the bench so much that they rather just play in the G League again, because it helps them grow and it helps them develop, instead of just getting a front row seat at an NBA game and waiting for your opportunity to shine when you can just do that in the G League. But it'll just be interesting to see if any of these guys crack the rotation or crack the roster when it's time for them, and to have that evaluation. Jalen Suggs has been a great player for them. I do wonder if he's going to be able to get a shot, from the perimeter. Can he be a three-point shooter? He obviously shot 39% one season for them so far. He's been healthier the last 2 seasons before. He wasn't that healthy this year. He was able to stay healthy. He was able to get more strength and more confidence in his game. He obviously shot 47% and averaged 12 points. They're going to need a little bit more out of him, but losing Markelle Fultz means somebody's going to get more minutes. Somebody's going to have the opportunity to step up and get those minutes. And I think Jalen Suggs was drafted for that reason, and he's still a great defender. So it makes sense that he gets that spot, he gets that position, and he gets to show what he's been working on and developing with. And maybe this is his chance to show that he's really worthy of keeping that starting spot even in the future and for the long run for the Orlando Magic. And Franz Wagner, he has been a guy I was high on out the draft, and he already has shown that he can be a good scorer. He already shown that he can be a decent three-point shooter and a guy that can really get out in transition, make shots from the perimeter, get to the basket a little bit, and he's a decent free throw shooter, and he can rebound and pass, at a decent level. I like what I have seen out of Franz. He's very good. He's above average. They really got to steal with him because he really has been one of those big, long bodies that can do so much offensively and has potential to still be a solid defender as a starter. And I think that really helped them a lot. Same with Suggs being healthy, and it turned them into a playoff team faster than a lot of people thought that they would be. And now I think they're one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. And obviously his brother is a stretch center that can hit a three, hit a mid-range, and very fast, very athletic, a big body that, has everything he needs to be one of the best, role players that's considered a great, player that you can bring off the bench and still be able to make shots and make plays. So I like what he can do, but this team has a lot of talent. They have a lot of potential with their youth, and I think that the more they grow together, the more they play together, the more they understand each other, the more the game gets simpler, the more the game gets easier, and the more that confidence this team can build within, the team itself. And then you already see guys like Paulo as the leader saying, I like what we have done. I like that we're ahead of schedule. I like what we're doing in training camp. I like what we're doing as a team. And I'm proud to be a part of this team as a number one overall pick. I went to a team that wasn't that great. Now we're a great team. Now we one of the potential top 6 teams in the Eastern Conference on a yearly basis, just based off talent. And I don't want to take this opportunity and this chance for granted when we can really build something special with the players that we have here and continue to try to, compete possibly for a championship in Orlando. And I think they made it to the finals with Shaq. They made it to the finals with Dwight Howard. Now they're trying to get over that hump and eventually win a championship. And we'll see what they're able to do. I think they need a little bit more rim protection, a little bit more consistent scoring on the perimeter, and then they can start becoming, the team that's more unstoppable and tough to guard. And like I said, if Paulo can smooth out some of those, slow moves and the overthinking moves and keep it a little bit more simple and a little bit more minimalistic offensively and get to the free throw line and knock down his free throws better, knock down his spot up threes better, have a little bit better shot selection and a little bit of a higher IQ, knowing when to go for the basket, knowing when to get off the ball a little bit faster. That comes with building trust with your teammates, building confidence with your teammates. And if he can do those things and let his teammates prove that they can do it, which they do in training camp, which they do in summer league, and which they do in preseason, I think that will make this team tougher to stop and tougher to guard. And then you just let your defense take care of the rest. And since they are already great defensively, now they just need to keep making their offense be, at a higher level. So I like what I'm seeing. I'm liking what they're doing. And honestly, this is a team that can be very scary in the future. Everybody gets older. Everybody gets hit by the apron. Everybody gets hit by the luxury tax. And this team just continues to build, continues to shave, continues to do their due diligence. And it all just works out for them. And they could be a contender for years since they already above the schedule that most of us would put them at. But since the respect is there, we see the results are there. All we can do is give them credit for the work they have put in, and that's something that we cannot deny them because they already shown and they already proved it and they already earned it. Other than that, comment, like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell for more analysis coming to you on YouTube. And I will say, if you're new to the channel, make sure you continue to watch my older videos. And if you've been on the channel, it's just a reminder that if you like this video and you probably forgot other videos potentially, is going to be on my channel still. So make sure you continue to check out the older ones and make sure you continue to share and like, because it makes this channel stay popular, make this channel stay popping like it has been for so many years. And thanks for watching in general. And all I can say is I'll see you guys later.